Oh, is that actually working? Nah, it can't be. So let's see what would happen if I do this. Yep. Okay, so that's supposedly streaming. What would happen if I was to go to this? Oh, cool. Let's see if that's working. Oh, is that actually working? Oh, it can't be. Nice. So let's see what would happen if I... Okay, there's a delay. Perfect. Okay. Oh, cool. Let's see if that's working. Oh, is that actually working? Oh, nice. Huh. Okay, there's a delay. I mean, nobody's watching, so who cares? All right. Cool. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Interesting, but how on earth would I... Delay. Okay, there's a delay. I mean, nobody's watching, so who cares? Alright. Cool. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Alright, sure, whatever. Let's just do this. So, let's see here. Boop. Okay, cool. So anyways, so what do I have? Alright, so this is what I currently got for my code. Got going on. Let's see here. Okay. So I do have that idea, or I do have the other idea. So by taking this, doing something like this, or I'm gonna do something like that. Might not be a bad call. Yeah. Okay. What if? Hey, cool. Somebody's actually watching. Hey man, what's going on? So I am in the process of working on my redesign for my website. Basically, what I've been in the process of doing for a while is rebranding myself. I've kind of like haven't really posted anything in a while, but in the background, what's been going on is basically getting my whole thing to kind of be tweaked so it's all animation driven. And so what'll end up happening is this whole thing right now, what I'm doing is a logo design, because eventually I'm going to end up having to do is taking this logo, however I finally decide on it, and what I'm going to end up doing is like making it like, you know, animated, and then I'll have like a bouncing ball and all that stuff. So it's kind of important to get the logo part figured out, and I'm trying to incorporate two ideas. One is, you know, just like the solid font, basically communicating like, okay, it's code, it's just straight whatever, but then also kind of having this more like playful, more whimsical part, and that's gonna be the Chris part, and that's the whole idea with Code Chris, is that it's basically, you know, code and art, and where the two kind of, you know, meet. So, and then I did have, I don't know, I was just been brainstorming for a while on different ideas, and so like one of them, for example, once this thing loads, but anyways, so I just been brainstorming with different ideas and not really sure. So this is my first live stream too. I did not actually think anybody would like pop in, so that's cool. So, and I don't even know, and I'm glad too that this thing's even working correctly, because I didn't even know it was gonna work correct. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm currently working on, and I'm just kind of, you know, looking for feedback, any thoughts, like, oh, you know, it'd be cool or whatever, you can do this or that. So, I don't know, because it's one thing I occasionally have to walk away and kind of figure out what it is I want to do. I had this idea of like making this giant C that would double up for both the code and the Chris, and I don't know. And then a part of me is like, well, maybe I just need to make this all caps. It's tough. I'm in that sort of designing stage, tweaking it all over again. Because actually, what ended up happening is, where's my thing? Why do I not see my color palette that I had designed? There we go. But what had actually happened is I had gone through like a bunch of different, just brainstorming. I had done some drawings, getting ideas for colors and figure out what is and what is not going to work and all that stuff. So, I don't know. But any thoughts, ideas? This is kind of where I'm at with like the whole like site redesign. Like I'm probably going to axe this because that's just not going to work. And this is just like sort of just like a rough idea. What I'll do is I'll get a YouTube API and basically feed this stuff in so it'll come in fresh and get that kind of stuff. This will be something different that kind of, you know, spins and spits out stuff. I'm trying to make a lot of things that are just much more interactive. You know, newsletter would kind of like, you know, unfold, or maybe it'd turn into like an airplane or something. I don't know, just trying to do things that are just a little bit more different, creative, and kind of stress this whole like animation being like my focus. That's my niche of the web market that I'm gonna try and focus. Oh, right on, man. Taking a course. Nice. What are you learning, man? Or something. I don't know. Just trying to do things that are just a little bit more different, creative, and kind of stress this whole like animation. There's a bit of a delay before I get a response. So, meanwhile, let's take a look here. I did think this would be kind of a cool idea. So, anyways, I just thought it'd be just kind of a cool idea to just kind of live stream broadcast. I didn't expect anybody would actually care to watch or anything, but I was like, yeah, whatever. So, I'll do something like this where I can kind of like get a like a cool, make the O kind of, you know, be part of the design, and actually be like parentheses, because, you know, that's how the code works. It's an idea. Let's see here, and I am not an Illustrator master by any means, so it's kind of like annoying to like get back on all this stuff and remember how everything's built. Learning React, nice. I started messing with React a little bit before I got my job, and even this my site redesign, I'm debating like, should I go React or should I not? Because React's hot right now, you know, and it's definitely a really good thing to learn. I started messing with it and then I stopped because I got busy, and now I'm actually thinking possibly doing Vue, just because it's more of a personal project and I'll be the one maintaining. I'm not gonna be working with a team. But if it's like a team or anything, like from what I understand, React seems to be the way to go. That seems to be on everyone's list right now, and definitely at work we're basically starting to be like, hey, we need more React people. And so I'm like, maybe I should learn React right now, get that under my belt. But there's just not enough time, you know. Like I wanna learn all this new animation stuff, and I wanna learn code, and I wanna just do so much, and there's just not enough time. It's tough. It's so tough. I don't know. This look dumb to you? This whole parentheses thing? Does that even make sense? And maybe it was like that, and then maybe we made this like uppercase. Does that kind of make sense? I can kind of see that. It's not super crazy. I'm not a big fan of like leet kind of stuff where it's like, code. It's a little, I think, a little too much, and I'm trying to, you know, keep it simple. I was watching a number of videos that were talking about design and how you incorporate, you know, what's good design principles for logos specifically and brands. And there's a few basic things, and the basic ideas are, you know, hey, keep it limited on colors, you know, 1, 2, 3 colors max. It should be a very strong silhouette, something that if it was black and white or far away, you could make out what it says. And also, if you can communicate a little bit about what it is within the logo design, then that kind of helps also. And keep it simple. It should be something that the idea is it should be something so simple a child can draw what they can kind of remember of it, So I'm trying to kind of like tweak, because initially, like, my old website, I mean, actually, let me just pull my website right now, because my website's like nothing. It's not like a big deal. It needs it needs a whole new facelift, right? So anyways, but my website, oh, there you go. There's like my little logo, right? So it's just basic text. It's what I use at the beginning of all my like videos. So I am trying to take this kind of aesthetic, these kind of colors, I'm tweaking them, I'm changing them, and bringing it a little bit more of a more fun direction, more colors and all that stuff. And this is kind of like my new color palette, and and then just kind of figuring out what I'm going to do. And I've kind of taken some fonts that I liked, that I think worked for me, and then I'm bringing them into Illustrator and kind of tweaking them just a little bit more. Like I said, this R and I specifically give the illusion of a bouncing ball, which is the principle of animation, which is what I'm going for as far as all that. So I'm kind of liking this whole parentheses thing. I think that kind of works for me now, although I don't know if this whole half and half works for me like I thought it was going to. Yeah, it's a tough call. I don't know, just thinking out loud. I tend to talk to myself all the time anyways, so why not? Hey, how's it going, man? Welcome in. I'm doing good, thank you for asking. So I'm glad to know people are interested to see, like, you guys are probably just like on YouTube or checking out classes, and then you're like, oh, that's weird, what's this guy doing streaming? He doesn't stream. So, but anyways, yeah, I figured I'd try it out. It's interesting so far. I've got more people than I thought I was going to. That was a young Chris, my profile. Bro, I always look young. So, actually, that's not true. I kind of, getting married, having a kid, it kind of changes you a little bit. It ages you pretty quick. But yeah, that's my old picture. It's so weird, because like when I started this whole like I'm gonna post YouTube videos, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and because I did it because I wanted to basically have a I wanted to end up having a professional presence online. And I watched like John Sonmez, some simple programmer. So I watched him a lot in the beginning and stuff, and I have his book about soft skills and whatnot. And what ended up happening is I'm like, okay, cool. Well, let me have a web presence of some kind. Just put some videos out and whatever, and you can start to build this brand idea and whatever. And so I initially was going with this whole approach of being like professional. Everything has to look professional. I mean, I gotta be in a suit, I gotta have a tie. I wanted to like stand out and not be like, kind of sloppy, or just kind of like just some like dude who like codes and whatever. And because I was trying to find a job, and I figured that was a professional presence. It was somebody that, hey, that's somebody we can take seriously. We'll hire him. And that's kind of what I was trying to go for. And I guess it worked. But now at this point, I'm changing that so that it's a little bit more me coming out. I can just kind of loosen up with some of the design choices, and really at this point, I just want to do things that are a little bit more fun and a little bit more me in my direction. So a little bit more on the creative side of things. So, but yes, it was a to wrap it up. That was a young me in the profile. Man, how young am I? You know what? That might be like, that's like 3 years ago. Yeah, because that's like my wedding outfit. So, yeah. Okay, actually, as long as you guys are here, I mean, this is kind of what I was hoping for. So any feedback is good. Let me ask you this. As far as a logo goes, two things I'm trying to keep. The idea of code, which is just solid text, no serifs or anything like that. The font is, very Arial looking, and then the crisp portion is gonna be a little more artistic, a little more whimsical, whatever. Should I try and go with more of like a square thing, or just one line, two lines, or I guess I don't know, any kind of thoughts on that? Is this whole parentheses idea, I'm kind of digging it now, but I also kind of think it's kind of silly. It's a little too, I don't know. Maybe I should just simplify it even more and just really just take it so that's just really just one code, and then just call it like this, and then just call it a day, because I mean that by itself is solid. That'll do the trick. So yay, I'm relatable. Awesome. So I'm kind of weird in the sense that, so I'm like a younger guy, but I'm really disconnected with social media. Like, I am not good at understanding social media. That's not where I don't post a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, my Facebook, like my personal Facebook, I don't post often. My wife is the one who usually does the posting, right? And so I've got I take tons of pictures and videos and stuff, but I do that mostly for like internal family videos and stuff that I'm building, but don't really post as often as I should, just because I'm like, now I gotta post it. And Facebook, man, Facebook just like sucks you in. It occupies so much of your time, and obviously if you've seen some of my videos, like I try to get into this stuff, and I'm trying to learn, and my time is limited. This is actually late for me. 9:46. It's 9:46 where I am in Chicago time. This is late for me. Normally I'm an early bird, right? Waking up at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock or whatever, and trying to work that way. But it's been tough the last couple days. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just stay up later and see if that'll work, and if that'll do the trick. You know what? I actually kind of want this to be just a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's do something like that. I feel like I'm not getting nearly as much work done because I'm talking. Maybe this stream was not like the best idea, but it's cool. It's fine. I mean, I haven't posted anything in a while, so yeah, I like that better. Oh man, I don't know. Talking out loud sometimes just helps. Yeah, I agree. The parentheses just don't quite fit with the font type. Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't quite work the way I want it to. And the thing is, so here's, and this is kind of a unique problem that I have. There's another person, no relation, called Code with Chris, and I found it out after I had gotten my domain and all that stuff, and I was super excited because I got my name, but then like occasionally somebody else has that username or something, so sometimes it's Code Chris, sometimes it's Code Chris M, and it's so funny because I would have definitely like tweaked things a little bit, but if I let's see what I can do with this. Yeah, I purposely chose these colors, and I like blue because there's a whole mentality with trust and professionalism. Another reason why I chose the colors that I did. And, I also try to make sure that there's no confusion between me and this other guy. He does mostly web application stuff. Code with Chris. Yeah, so there's this other guy, and his logo looks like, oops, whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. His logo looks like this. So I want to make sure that I don't end up getting any confusion with that, and it's obviously quite different, and it never really has been confusing. But I don't know. You just want to make sure that there's no misrepresentation. I do like. I'm really starting to dig these things, but I do agree with you, Noah, man, that they just don't quite fit. And I kind of like the big C, but now it seems kind of. Maybe what I need to do. Let's see if I can do this. Let's just make these like really like fat or something. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe just make my. Nah, I don't. Ugh. I just. Maybe I'm not thinking this through. This is kind of one of those things where the logo is so silly because you can like just tweak things forever and ever and just really get nowhere with it. Yeah, and then for me personally, I am not a big fan of all caps. I actually prefer when things are lowercase. But obviously that doesn't quite work if I use these parentheses anymore. The blue is similar. Yeah, that was my blue first. That was the one I stripped from my blues. Actually, it's funny because the new color palette I chose. So these are like the new colors that I chose. It's funny because the all these colors I've stripped from is an insurance company's website. They had this like cartoony vibe, and what's funny is I'm seeing very similar with in a very similar range a lot of like kid shows and kid channels and stuff, which is good because I mean my background is in character animation, you know, that kind of stuff, right? So cartoons and all that jazz. So but yeah, I can tweak the blue a little bit. I kind of would like to have more colors, but no. I should really just find the silhouette at this point. Like at this point, like it really is more about like, okay, like what's let's just get the black and white first, right? That's what we should do. If it looks like I'm doing nothing, I assure you I am thinking out loud. That's all I'm doing. That's another reason why I wanted lowercase too, man. Just because if it's lowercase, there's less confusion. I don't know though. You know, let me just see what happens if I do this. Alright, see what happens if I do this, and I do one of these. Oops. Damn. Oops. Undo. There we go. Great. Fantastic. Fandignitastic. Cool. Yeah. That doesn't work for me. Like, at all. I don't like that at all. Oh, man. It's so hard trying to figure this stuff out, but whatever. I ended up tweaking this C before, and I can tweak it again. This is some Google font that I took and then I drastically changed. Initially, the Chris looks like this out of the box. No, this out of the box. Yeah, so here you can see where I took the CHRIS, and you can see right here what it came with via stock and how I've kind of drastically tweaked it. Mainly, you'll mainly notice it in the R and the I, and a little bit in the H, and then obviously quite a bit in the C. So, yeah, you know, the crazy thing is, Adipo, I actually was thinking the same thing about like an HTML. So for example, like I thought it'd be like really cool to do something like you know, like maybe like this, right? And maybe like that'll be like the C shape, right? Because I could do something like this and somehow make that the C, or I can like maybe just bracket the whole thing, right? So put that on one side, and then on the other side we'll do the same thing, something like that. And I thought that was actually, that's not bad. That's not bad. I can kind of see it. It's still, you know what? It just feels really big now. But what if we just shrink things down a little bit? We're just brainstorming here. This is brainstorming's what it's all about. No, it doesn't work for me. It was bigger before. But maybe if we do something like this. I can kind of, you know, there's something there. There's something there. Okay, I can kind of see something going on. Yeah, I can kind of, alright, yeah, I can kind of see. I can kind of make this out. Honestly, like, I think this itself. Oh, shit. It's closer. It's closer. Also, let's make this black. Let's just make this black so we can actually. Yeah. Okay. Going with silhouettes here. Either way, this guy needs to be fatter. Right? Okay. All right. You talking about the? You talking about these brackets here? Noah? Yeah, I'm kind of cool with the brackets. I can kind of see it. I kind of like the big brackets too. Oh, no, that's not gonna work anymore. I don't know. There's potential here. This is like the fun part, right? Like figuring out the whole brainstorming thing of like, okay, this kind of works, this kind of doesn't. Ooh, actually, you know what I kind of like? I kind of like taking this and repeating it over here. Yeah, that'd be pretty baller. Yeah, I could definitely do that. Just kind of following the theme. Cause okay, so here's the thing. So this piece right here, this will end up. I don't know. I mean, you'll end up seeing later. But I'll end up doing this tutorials where I'll show like a bouncing ball in the canvas, and it's gonna like bounce, and there's like squash and stretch, and so squash and stretch, and you follow these arcs, and I kind of wanted to follow these arcs and kind of get that impression and build the logo out of it, and that was kind of a cool idea. But I'm always thinking of things like moving, like no, this is like a still image, man, like this is frozen in time. So yeah. But yeah, let's see here. I kind of like these parentheses, because for me, this communicates very quickly code. Like I understand that now. And I thought this was kind of a dumb idea initially, and I'm surprised I even am caring for it now. These brackets, I can kind of see it working, unless maybe it's like this. And then maybe something like let's grab my boy, let's see here if we can do this. Boo. Usually using Photoshop, not Illustrator, so all the hotkeys are different. Whatever, we'll get the point across. Let's make it so that it's like, there we go, that's great. Really? Honestly? Fine, whatever. None. There we go. Great, cool. Alright, cool. Let's do something like that. I don't know, is that kind of dumb? That feels kind of dumb. That doesn't really work the way I thought it would. Yeah, I could experiment with them a little bit. Let's see. What if like the whole thing was just like, you know, so let's just take this, and this. Oops. What if it was something like, I don't know. Go back to brush. It's not the craziest thing. It's reasonable. I don't know. DevTips has, I mean, DevTips has the beautiful, whatever those things are called, right? And those things just look gorgeous because they're just a naturally occurring shape in code. And they work out pretty nicely. The other thing too is I didn't want to restrict myself to HTML because, like right now, like so I'm building these tutorials and they'll be predominantly yes HTML and CSS, but there will be a lot of JS in there that'll come up. But honestly, it's all about with me going to be manipulating the front end, right? So there's going to be a lot of DOM elements. There's going to be a lot of just HTML stuff. I don't know. Well, let's try something else. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Getting too close to the trees, but you can't see the forest, right? Okay. So first of all, I did like what I was doing here. Boom. So let's keep this on deck. He doesn't disappear. This is going away because we're not doing the whole leap thing. I am kind of cool with what I'm seeing here, potential-wise. I don't need this anymore. I don't think I need this anymore. Let's see here. It's time to sleep here in Brazil. Back late to watch it. Hey, thanks, man. Have a good night. It's close to my bedtime as well. I should probably get going. You know, I just really wanted to figure this out because I really wanted to get into my After Effects. Hey, Real Tough Candy, what's up? I'm just messing around with stuff. So the reason why I really wanted to figure out this whole logo, and ideally I wanted to figure it out tonight because, like I said, every morning lately has just been really tough. So I want to figure it out tonight so that I could actually get working on my intro bumper more so. And so like I had this basic mock-up here, right, where you can see like what I was going for, and then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't even like the logo look. Oops. Yeah. So I mean, I'm basically like trying to figure out like this whole communication of like, hey, I'm an animator, and I'm going to show you how to animate the web and manipulate your elements and all that fun stuff and do things that are different. And I've only found like 2 other people that I really enjoy that really do what I want to do and share. So I figure it's a nice little like section of my niche market I can talk about because that's my background. However, you know, I was looking at this and I was like, that works out nicely. But that logo isn't working for me. And then so now I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this R, I'm gonna build it. It's gonna squash and stretch into that, make that bouncing ball. But you know what? This long thing, I don't. It's more of a pain in the butt to put logos that are long. And what's becoming the new trend, what's the new hotness and all that stuff is really getting things into like more of a square dimension, getting things. Because it's more of a logo. It's more of something you can put in a corner and not have to deal with it. So ideally, if I could stack these then but also communicate more within just the design. So if you guys got feedback, by all means, let me know. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do this again. Whoop, 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 whoop. And start on the next part. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And yeah, Real Tough Candy is a pro. She's got all the colors and all the design stuff going on. You put a ton of work into the thumbnails. So nice. Let's see here. I don't know. I just don't know. And I really don't want to have to do this. I don't like it. I don't like caps. I just don't. It just feels so, you know. I really like this idea of these parentheses or using brackets or something like that. But oh yeah, sorry. So for this font here, this is actually called what's it called? It's called Verdana, and it's Verdana Bold. And then this the Chris is actually something that I've tweaked. The font is originally called, let's see here. It's originally called Gachi Hand. It was one of the Google fonts that I was just, trying to get something that, is usable. So I used Gachi Hand Regular, and so I started with this, and I kind of was experimenting and tweaking it, and eventually what I ended up doing was I tweaked it more and more, and so now it's kind of in this spot. So from here, and actually let me just zoom in so you can actually like, yeah. So from this to this, and I like the R, the I. Actually, I'm gonna tweak this H a little bit. I obviously had to tweak the C because I thought this C looked ridiculous. Like what is this? What is this? Kids? No. We're going for whimsical, not childish. So. Noah, I love caps. In caps. The thing about caps, man, is, I guess I must have like a history with caps, because it seems like every time that I used caps, just for legibility purposes, people are always like, when I'm texting or sending a message, they're always like, "All right, don't yell." And I'm like, I'm not yelling. It's just cleaner and it's more easy to read. So, but yeah, no, in designs and stuff, I use caps all the time. But in the logo, I don't know. I wanted to be different and just not have caps. Also, I feel every time I see the word code done in people's stuff, or when they reference it, or in thumbnails and whatever, it's always in caps, and it's kind of weird to me. I don't really know why. So it's actually an interesting thing if you think about it. Like HTML. If we like ever reference HTML, right, we always put it in caps, like, oh, HTML, right, all caps, and we kind of understand that as like, oh, that you're talking about HTML, right? However, what's funny is when you look at like all the syntax we write, or would by default, right, inside your code editors, when you write HTML, it's always lowercase. Like, all of our elements are usually lowercase. I mean, at least for me. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it just so happens to be that way. And so I've got an idea. My wife is in the process of... she's in the process of... Well, yeah, all right, cool. Well, anyways, in the process of putting together what will be an HTML pillow, right? And... we got this idea where I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if I can just like get like a little HTML pillow with like the cutout areas instead of just like some glued on, you know, image or something. And so I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, but if you guys have an idea, oh, you guys can't see. I'm just looking at the replay now. Yeah, you can't see that design template for the HTML. But you know what HTML looks like. The point of that story was, long story short, to get to the point that HTML, when I was looking at the syntax and any images of it, it was actually always in lowercase, which I didn't really think about, but whatever. So we're doing it in lowercase, and now I'm like, ooh, you should take the next step further, and we're talking about fonts and whatever. I'm not a big. Here's the thing: like, my logo is basically trying to be purely font, and I'm not really a big typography guy. I'm not a big typography guy. I don't really care about typography all that much. It's just not the most fun thing to me, right? You know, like you listen to Steve Jobs talk about typography. It's like the bee's knees, right? It's just this beautiful thing. But for me, I'm not really all that into typography. It's, you know, it's just not really my cup of tea. So maybe I'm just not very good at it either. So, anyways, but okay. First of all, I kind of think maybe I can just squinch that down a little. Whoops. Ah. There we go. Why do I keep pressing Alt? Oh, interesting. I got two of those suckers in there. I guess I do. Huh. I'll be. Fun stuff. Not labeling like I should. But that's okay. Yeah, I kind of like made a big mistake, because normally what I do when I'm doing any kind of design work is I draw everything out and plan it all out that way, because everything takes longer on the computer, especially if you don't really have a clear direction or whatever. No, those brackets that you see here, these are just something I drew by hand. They're just whatever. They're not gotchi, whatever. I'm really bad at pronouncing those as well. Let's see here. Oh, man, I don't know why I really dig the idea of parentheses. What if I did something like this, and then it's crazy and do I want to be like that kind of guy who's like, who does this whole thing, right? Where it's like, let's see here. No, I don't. Actually, that doesn't even. Ugh. What am I doing? Oh, something like that's not a bad idea. Maybe if I do a 0. But I really like the parentheses. I'll just pick a font that looks more like that. What am I doing? I don't even know, man. I kind of like this idea of just like having brackets there, and maybe if that doesn't work, no. Stick with the ones you have, or you gotta go find new ones. Where's all my... You. I don't know. It just feels weird. Something about these just don't feel right. Ugh. Illustrator is a weird thing, man. If you do a lot of Photoshop and then you jump into Illustrator, it's weird. So I don't know about you guys, but jumping into Illustrators, I don't know. I don't do it very often, so it's like, I don't know. Hotkeys really aren't my friend in Illustrator. That looks kind of silly now. Let's see. Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of okay with the idea if it's like this. And then I make this lowercase. I'm kind of okay with that. No, looks silly. What if initially when I built my website or my logo, it was camel case, because I'm like, haha, camel case, because that's what people do. I know that now, ha 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 ha. But everybody seemed to spell my name with an uppercase, and I was like, you know what? Just embrace what it's seen as. I don't have control over that, but clearly that's the more easier understood of the two. So, camel case is not the way to go. I don't know, man. Part of me was also really digging it when I had this idea as well, which was to like get a big C, right? And that C is actually for both of these bad boys, right? So it'd be like this. And then where's my C, boom, right? And then now I've got something like that. I'm kind of okay with that. Kind of not. Kind of not. All right. Have a good night. Talk to you later. It's crazy because I actually expected that all the I thought devs like love to stay up late. Well, then again, everybody's on a different time zone too, right? So let's see here, man. I don't know. Interesting question. What if I was to do something like is it a silly idea to try and make that shape work? Okay, let's think out loud here, bruh. Let's think out loud. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Da, 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 da. This does communicate a lot. Let's just make it black and white so we know what we're dealing with. Okay. Kind of, I don't know, kind of still not, maybe it's just too thick. Let's reduce maybe the width a bit. Alright, let's do a couple of things that I know I want. First of all, the R I liked from up here, so I'm just going to repeat that because I like this guy. So we'll ditch this. We'll put that, boom, right in there. Get the idea. We'll move him over a little. Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. Next, I'm going to repeat that same idea over here, just because I can just get some actual progress in, not feel like I'm not making any progress. And we'll give that a little bit more, something like this. Yeah, let's just move that up along here. Yeah, that's cool. We can go with that. Yeah, I can go with that. It's It's got a bit of a vibe to it. I can go with this. Okay. Okay. I like that. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let's tweak this a little bit. So much more fun in the C part than there is in the rest of it. Oh shoot. Is it a little too big? Nah, it's good. It's good. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Pull away. It's got more aesthetic. Okay, cool. Let's do a couple things here. So first of all, the bottom part, we really need to do something with this. Something different. Yeah. Well, so why is there no... Oh, because this is actually a... yeah. Okay, so now you need to go, how do you do this? Object, expand. And then we'll go bam, and we can go bam, and boom, now we have some dots. Alright, let's make this Shift C. There we go. Yeah, that's not really doing what I want to do. Give me the handles. Okay, cool, whatever. So this away. Interesting. Okay. Not a bad idea. Yeah, right. No, you got the crisp part locked in. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this bottom part here. It's just this top part, which right now I'm getting a little bit more okay with. But looking at it from far away, I'm thinking it's just too busy. This actually, surprisingly, it's a little more solid. Maybe. Oh, gosh, I keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. What I need to do is figure out what it is I can let go. So there's this saying, like, don't get attached to your work, or take criticism and all that stuff. Because as an artist, I've come to just allow that, like, just done, gone. And it's good because sometimes you get some really fresh, totally just unique ideas and different, and you're just trying to break things, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this. I'm kind of liking these brackets now. And I actually am kind of wondering, what if I took this and really all I did, to be honest with you, is just ditch this idea of that and just go with this. Just make it a simple. Why has it got to be this whole thing? Just make it like that. COD. Da. Great, cool. And we are rolling. There we go. Cool. And a part of me feels like that's simple enough. Like, this piece right here it's simple. And I think it kind of I don't know. It gets apart it gets across the whole creative side of things, and I'll obviously have to bring that new H in so that the H, it looks even better, and the R will tweak it a little bit. But I think that actually might be simple enough. Or do I need to maybe just do I change the kind of like everything being like that. Ooh, tough call. Tough call. Thanks, Kelvin, man. Yeah, this is my first live stream, so you're not late to the game at all. You're actually on the cutting room floor. Yeah, this is my first live stream, and I was like, I'll just do some work and just stream it, and if people want to watch, whatever. I'm not getting nearly as much work done as I thought I would, so this is something to keep in mind as far as I'm thinking for future streams, because I'm not nearly as productive because I'm talking and explaining stuff. But it's okay. I mean, it's good to talk out loud and get these thoughts on, especially in this early stage. It's, the creative process. I'm kind of digging this. Is anybody else feeling this one on the right or the left or the bottom, or just keep it straight line? It's just any feedback is welcome. I've got thick skin. If you got ideas like, oh, go Caps, man, go Caps, or something like that. And so the thing to think about when we're, I've kind of mentioned this, but the thing that I'm thinking about while I'm designing this is I'm thinking in regards to, there's two things I want to communicate. One is I need to have a contrast between these two parts. One is going to be more organic, right? More artistic, more like swervy and stuff, because that's the artistic side of stuff. And then we want the code to be much more rigid, no serifs, nothing fancy like that. Feel a little more techy. We want these two, however, to kind of mesh nicely. And what we also want to do is make it simple, so simple like a kid can do it. And I like this. Okay, the HRIS. This is the bounce. God, this I understand. This, I don't know. Yeah, so the thing, man, with the colors is, regardless, I was always going to have the color for sure. So what would end up happening is, I was just doing it in black and white to get, what do you call it? To get the thingamajig. I don't like how I don't know how to do this the fast way. Bam. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so it was always going to be, two colors. Or I could do one color this and one color that. I could always do something like, one color and then the rest of the word. Also, it's not going to be like this. This is actually like straight black. It'll be an off black because nobody likes, that kind of black. That's just like too dark. It's got too much contrast. What if we were to do? I don't know. And that's the thing too, is like right now the background, actually it's a good question, is my flux on? Because I can't even see what this looks like right now. Yep, all my colors are off. Oh, bright light. Okay, yeah, that's my screen. Okay. Sorry, flux was on for me, so I couldn't actually see the true color I was working with. Ah, that's bright. Do I switch it? Or do I actually have something that's more like... yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling you, Noah. I see what you're saying. This one and this one. Cause I'm looking at this, especially if I switch out that H. It's simple. It's clean. It's simple. Because that's the thing is the cooler it looks, the more involved it looks. You're making it more complicated, much more involved. You know, that silhouette, you start to get away from it. What if? What if? This is a terrible idea, but just work with me here. What if it was something like okay, no, that's a dumb idea, but I just want to kind of put it together just because I think it'd be kind of interesting to do. What if it was something like this? This is a terrible idea. I'm already seeing this as a bad idea. Yeah, this is not cool at all. This looks ridiculous. But a part of me is kind of like, that's just silly enough to work. No, it's not. Nope, no, it is not at all. And then of course, because I would have to. There we go. No, that looks horrible. It's a terrible idea. Ugh, so silly. Because honestly, what I could do is just really try and figure out what I want to do with maybe even just the lines, these brackets. This. Nope. Come on, man. There we go. Maybe those brackets should be more like, I mean, because this would be great, right? Like, that's awesome. I love that. I don't know. Is it too much like dev tips at that point? No, not really. Although I did wonder what would happen if I made this like half and half, maybe. That's kind of an interesting idea. It's different. It's very different, that's for sure. Could just do something like. Okay, either way, I don't know why I'm doing this because I think it doesn't look good. Yeah, I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Yeah, no, that just seems really silly, and yet I can't stop messing with it. And yet I can't. I'm going for like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. I don't know. I think this is probably the direction I'm going to head in. It's clean, it's simple, it works. Just don't overthink it. Easy on the eyes. Could even take this one step further, keep those same brackets that just happened to work out really well the first time. Just works this way, works that way. I don't like this. Whatever this is garbage. Indecisiveness. Okay. Well, let's think through this out loud. What is it I like about this. I like the brackets. I like the aesthetic of the brackets. Those can be tweaked, you know, for more of a whatever, but overall they feel good. I like it communicates code. It looks like an element. It's simple. It's clean. If I was to take out that, if I was to take out this H, which I'm gonna do right here. If I was to take this H out and swap it with my nicer H, which is like little stuff that most people don't even know or care, but whatever. It helps in the silhouette, but only subtly. Cool, whatever. Maybe instead what I should do is make this blue. That's an idea. All right, let's go in this direction, right? So we know we like the way this aesthetic looks, right? And let's just delete these because I don't know what's going on. Oh, jeez Louise, man. Come on. Honestly. Okay. Alright, fine, whatever. This thing's... Yeah. Okay, cool. Equals, alright. Let's do this. We go here, and I'm going nuts because I can't remember these hotkeys. Ugh. I gotta find it over here because there's something that... Ugh, this is a mess. Look at this thing. This is horrible. This is like all the bad practices you should not be doing. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Alright, whatever. Don't need it right now. Okay, fine. So let's see. What I can do is I can take this and I can change this color so it looks more like this. And actually what we're going to do is just try and reverse the colors and see if that does anything for us. Oh, interesting. So these guys actually all have a stroke, which I did not know that. They should not. Cool. Code Chris. Okay. I do not like... Okay, so I don't think I like this as much. I kind of prefer the light one on top. And then another question too is like what color does it go on? What's behind it? So might as well just make this. I think it's simple. Let's go back to my colors. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Where's that eyedropper? Okay, I don't know why. Everything got reset. There we go. Cool. Great. Fantastic. And diggity-tastic. Let's see here. What if... It's getting too complicated. Don't do it. Okay, let's do this instead. Let's do this. Let's do this. What we'll do is we'll get a shape that just goes behind everybody. And this shape, we will go ahead and make this. And that shape we're just gonna throw at the bottom. Yeah, that looks horrible. Nice. Yeah. Which makes me wonder what would happen if I was to do this. Not much. Not much would happen. Alright, let's just do a yeah, that'll do better. I'm really just honestly just like messing with like some totally random stuff. Otherwise my default color is going to be this sort of like off-white with a slight tinge on it. Before I get there, you know, I like to see what my other options are. This is a lot of spunk to it, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, why does code gotta be, you know, let's give it some life. Red. Which that does not work, but this might. Okay, let's go ahead and do something like this. Would be quite interesting. 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 A lot more playful going on now. But that bright yellow is that'd be killer. That'd be killer. However, this red and blue, not the worst idea. Not the worst idea. Let's see what would happen if we just put this on what I expect to probably be the main color in the background. Oh, oops. There we go. It's not bad. It's not bad. It doesn't quite have that same amount of life and joy that everything else does. Kind of like it though. Let's see here. What are we going to do? Well, kinda digging this. I'm trying to mess with the brackets. Do the brackets need to be messed with? I don't know. I'm gonna catch some Z's. I'm continuing to see the thought process of your design. The brackets work because they keep things interesting. Hope you know your logo. Thanks, Noah. Have a good night, man. Take it easy. Yeah. Noah made a really good point where he's like, yeah, I'm digging the brackets. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I started off with like these huge ones and these smaller ones. And now it's just like these kind of like just hand-drawn ones. And they actually kind of work. So, which was not what I was expecting at all. I initially thought I'd make a bracket and that would become a C. Because it's just so obvious, right? It's obviously a C shape. I wonder if this is a silly idea or not. But yeah, it's a silly idea, so I'll do it. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Okay. I wonder though, what would happen if we were to take these shapes and make them... Okay, here's what we'll do. This is interesting. Here's an idea. Why don't we take code, right? We're going to take this word, and with this letter, we will increase the... let's do this. I'm just going to actually just do each one of these separate. So that's one. Work with me here. That's... oops, nope. This is O, and this is a D, and this is oops, nope, I don't really care, and this is a E. There we go. Great, fantastic. So what I'm thinking might be kind of an interesting idea is I'm not a big fan of caps, but it would be nice if I can get all of these to be similar in their overall occupation of space. I don't know what the word would be, but if I was able to get them all to be in that area, that may not work the way I think it will. I don't think that's gonna work the way I think it is. Because this doesn't feel distorted at all like the others do. It just, yeah, it doesn't really quite work out the way I thought it would. However, if I was to make this a 0, Cody, so it looks like, even though it's code. No. No. But let's see. Let's do this. Let's take in this. We'll take in this. We'll bring it down a little bit. Bam. Right. Got that. Take this down a notch. Right. Huh. I don't know. What if this was black? I can kind of see that though. Replacing it with a 0. Because then what's kind of cool, it's just more of a stylistic thing, because then it's kind of cool. I can take this E, bring it down even lower. Like that. I got this negative space, negative space, negative space. You kind of get this like interesting kind of shape going on in the negative space. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. I kind of like what's going on. It's kind of got this slant. I can see that working. But does it really communicate? Does it really communicate what I'm trying to get across? I don't know. That one seems a little bit more difficult. Let's see what happens if I do this. Let's do that. Take this. Pop it on here. Yeah, that doesn't quite work the way I think it would. At least it wouldn't if you have these brackets. You would have to ditch the brackets for sure, because it's just too much stuff going on visually. There's a lot of movement going on. This could work, but now it feels like it's something else, and this needs to be modified and changed. Although, what if I made this again? What if I just did this? Why am I so obsessed with having this big C thing? I don't know. That's kind of cool. It feels like a jazz album. That's what that feels like. That communicates to me jazz album. That's what I feel like. Let's see. Trinita. I'm sorry. That's Okay. Question: any tips for first coders regarding HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? First time. Yeah. Well, the only thing I could recommend to you if you're a first time getting into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is learn JavaScript before you learn jQuery. I personally would recommend learning JavaScript before learning CSS. It's just not necessary. And HTML you can learn after getting started with JavaScript. The reason I say that is because with JavaScript it's an actual programming language, so you're learning things like logic and loops and conditionals and all that stuff. So what you learn in JavaScript can be applicable to any other language. And the reality is HTML will not take you very long to get, and it's not. If it's your first language, it might be a little misleading because it's not a programming language. It is a markup language, and it's I personally think learning a programming language first makes it easier for you. By the way, is this mic okay? I always never really know on the levels, but I would also recommend. If you do the JavaScript first, the advantage there is that you're going to not have to worry about feeling like the next language you learn or the stuff that you have to mess with for the rest of the front end side is going to be complicated. CSS is its own thing, but it's not super advanced or involved in regards to like logic and debugging and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I would recommend personally JavaScript first, and then going on to HTML and then CSS for your styling. You'll kind of learn HTML and CSS like in together, and they're not going to occupy your time the same way JavaScript will, because the difference is with HTML you can get up and running and building things on the screen, showing things, and majority of the time it's usually not going to break. But JavaScript, you can do things and you have a function that doesn't make sense logically and it's just going to break and no code will appear. You'll get an error message. And so usually with HTML you'll visually see something on the screen always, even when you end up messing up the elements in the brackets. So, which is actually specifically what I'm doing with these things, is trying to simulate that HTML bracket look. And so I don't know if that helps you at all. So let's see here. Okay. I think I'm kind of digging this red and blue now. Thinking I actually might end up doing that. Okay, so basically what's going on is I am trying to rebrand myself because I come from an animation background, right? Art and stuff. And I'm going to be more so showcasing the animation parts of the web and how the web animates and how it moves. And so I'm trying to get like my new like little logo together and intro and all that stuff. With all that being said, I needed something new, fresh, and just having it more of a fun vibe. And what I end up doing is taking my current logo, which looks like which looks like this in the corner here. Nothing very, you know, fancy or whatever. I was just trying to look very professional, very clean, simple to understand. And what ends up happening is I'm like, okay, well, let's take that and go from there. And so I kind of kept the colors, kind of tweaked it and did all that stuff. And now I'm in the process of kind of rebuilding that brand. And so that whole thinking process involved, you know, a number of iterations and figuring this stuff out. This might seem like overkill for something as simple as a logo, but the thing is there's a lot that goes into a logo, and really good logos. So for example, if you were to look at I don't know, I'm gonna type in good logos and see what pops up as far as images go. Okay, good, great, yeah. So here, you've got good logos. One of the things that makes them stand apart is the fact that they're very simple, right? A child can look at this once and remember what it looks and remember what it is, right? And usually a good logo will have just 1 or 2 colors, sometimes 3. But it's a very important symbol for the brand, and from there a lot of your aesthetics will, you know, grow. And so here you can even see like how they've kind of like tweaked the logo and how they have the different versions of the logo, and depending on like the size and stuff. So I don't know, there's just a lot of things that you need to think about in regards to a logo. It's not just having something that looks cool. The problem is a lot of people, what they'll end up doing is going to like the $5 design websites or whatever, and you'll get these sort of cheap logos that are recycled, and they're very busy. This is awesome. Look at this. This is bison, right? And the logo is something that incorporates, I don't even know what this is, but it's awesome. It's genius, right? And so anyways, all this is just kind of stuff that I'm thinking in the back of my head, because ultimately I like to use this brand that I'm building and creating, and you know, building something different and fresh, and you know, give it a different aesthetic to the internet than what's currently out there. And it's a very involved process in just the planning part. So because people who've never seen it before or whatever, there's some sort of repetition that I'm some sort of aesthetic that I'm trying to get across. So, you know, I'm kind of liking this the most. Kind of liking that the most. So that might end up being where we go. I like this. It just looks like a jazz album. Which, now that I think about it, I might end up using this for like a jazz album of some kind. So, then I'll tweak this a little bit. Maybe I can actually make... No, I'm kind of liking this. Kind of like this now. Yeah. This is my first live stream. I've just been thinking out loud, just brainstorming how this logo is going to work, and for me, because my background is in animation, I'm always thinking about how things are going to move. And you know, the whole thing that drove me like awesomeness is like the R, because there's movement for the ball that's going to be bouncing and all that stuff. But really what I need to do is I think this is our winner right here. I'm probably gonna end up sleeping on it, but I think this is probably the direction I'm gonna go with. I think regardless of the exact colors we use, this particular layout is the one we're gonna go with, because there's just a lot of other stuff, but it's not really working the way I want it to, and you know, so let's keep that. I am also wondering if I want to tweak the C a wee bit. You know, I like the R, I like the I, the S. We'll see. Yeah, H-R-I. The S, I think I'm gonna have to just tweak a little bit, because this, just a little, because yuck. And then I think we'll be good. beep, beep. I think that's okay. Can't deal with that. Nope. Nope, we cannot. That doesn't look good at all. So what you guys need to know is that I am actually not a master of Illustrator. And that's okay, because really, I don't use it that often. Usually it's going to be Photoshop or After Effects. I don't need to use Illustrator all the time. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, let's make this a little bit more obvious, because we're trying to, this logo isn't going to always be large, right? So what's important is that if the logo is not going to be large, we can still, clearly understand and read the logo from afar, and really communicate what's going on within this symbol. There we go. Yeah, I can go with that. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't know how I feel about the C. I did tweak it quite a bit. See, you can't even tell that there's a notch in that S from far away, right? So that's the thing, is your logo, when you put it in black and white, right? You put it on contrast. Everything but this. When you do this, oops, come on. When you come on, undo that. Alright, let's just lock this. Sorry guys, I am not a master at this like I should be. Okay, so when I do that hard black and white, it should be very clear as far as what's happening with this, you know. And the reality is that this is just not popping like it should. See, it's gotta be more round. There we go. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm cool with this. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's okay. Cool. All right. Yes, that C is better. Maybe what I need to do is tweak this H. Oh, no. Okay, cool. Alright, maybe I need to wrap this up. That's what I need to do. No. That's not gonna work for me. Let's try just doing this very Very subtle. No, I don't. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right. I think we're gonna keep it like that. Sometimes what you gotta do is just sleep on it and see how it feels in the morning. C. Lowercase. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yep, I think so. We just tweak the placement of the S and we'll be good to go for the evening. So we are good. Voila. Maybe we'll tweak this a bit. Okay. A few more tweaks, but I think overall this might become the new thing. So it's either going to be red and blue, or yeah. Here's a question. If I was to make this like that, and we were to make it the nice blue color that I do not have apparently. Ready? Yeah, I like that. What if we actually made this black instead? That might be kind of cool. I don't think so. Well, let's find out. We'll take this, we'll make it black. Okay. And then take this one, and we will take that stroke, and we will make it white. That's very different, and I don't think at all the direction we were going for, so. Okay, I think we're gonna go with this. It's yeah, I don't know. Still to be determined then, but it is 11 o'clock, so I need to get to bed, and yeah, I have to call it here. So go ahead and save this. Save. Alright, well, thank you for watching, guys. Hope it's been helpful to you. I'll probably do, a little bit more of this here and there, and we'll see how it goes. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys around. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.